You think so? First off, make sure I send my condolences out to John Moeller and his family. We lost a great Panther this last week. Tell you a little bit about him. Pretty much as soon as I got the job, the guy was here for everything. One of the first events we had was a little get-together out of his house for alumni, and he lived in Des Moines and made it to every single Panther Wrestling Club meeting, and I don't think the guy missed a meet. So he was an incredible support. He's going to be greatly missed, and make sure that everybody knows that. And we're going to miss John Moeller. I know the visitation's tonight and the funeral's tomorrow, so if any of you know him or know his family, make sure you send some condolences out their way. As far as this weekend, you know, the big thing is we didn't exceed any of our seeds. You know, you look at a tournament, you want to exceed your seeds. So you got guys that are seeded, you know, 1, they need to finish 1. Got guys seeded 5, and they need to finish 1. You got guys seeded 8, they need to finish 1. You got guys unseeded, they need to finish 1. So we didn't exceed our seeds. So when you think of it that way, you know, you're not that happy with the performance overall. I mean, I thought our guys went out and battled. I think the big thing is for some of our young guys, and we got to realize some of these guys are freshmen. And, you know, I think back to when I was a freshman, they got to believe that they're as good as anybody in the country right now, because they are. And so we're fighting a little bit of those confidence things. We're fighting a little bit of, you know, getting off bottom, which you watch almost everybody in the country's fighting that right now. And just going out there and being ready to scrap against the best guys. You know, we have a very good idea where we're at right now individually and as a team, and kind of the things that we need to focus on to move forward, so that, you know, we're not seated, you know, we're seated wherever we're seated, and we're going to exceed those seeds. You know, we brought 10 guys, and every guy won a match. Most guys won multiple matches. You know, we had a lot of guys in opportunities to put themselves in placing and to place, and we couldn't put the nail in the coffin. You know, I'm thinking of a couple guys that were in positions to beat good guys that are ranked highly in the country, and we just didn't put the nail in the coffin. So we got to figure out how to do that and get those guys to figure that out when they step out there. But I know there's a lot for us to build on. You know, I think we had 4 guys place. We placed 6th as a team. But, you know, we want more. We want more from our guys, and they want more too. The great thing is we have a lot to build on, though. A lot to build on individually as a team. And you know, we showed a little bit of our depth. You know, Ryan Loader didn't go out, and, you know, got a guy like Kyle Lux, who won a couple matches and was actually in a match where he had Weatherman on the brink. And, you know, like I said, we just got to find a way to put a guy away. You know, I'm pretty happy with how Blaze is wrestling. He's getting much better at a heavyweight. He's starting to feel the heavyweights. You know, he was in a situation where he's got a really good heavyweight on the ropes, and we got to find a way to put him away. You know, Dylan Peters wrestled one of the best guys in the country. You know, Garrett and got ridden a lot. You know, we got to be able to figure that out. Joe Colon got caught up into a match where wrestled how that guy wanted to wrestle, and the guy wrestled a good tournament. He won the tournament, but we got to be more ready for him next time. Laser got dinged up a little bit. Wasn't real sharp, but he's going to get sharper throughout the year. 49 Gunner's gaining some valuable experience, and he's getting better every time out. Jensen got dinged a little bit, rolled his ankle. You know, his first rounds with the guy that got into the finals. You know, and he's in really deep on the guy a couple times, close to finishing. You know, we just got to be able to, like, again, just got to be able to put the finishing touch on. Cooper Moore is right there with everybody. Right there with everybody. He's a guy, just got to get him to believe he's right there with everybody when he steps out there. 74, got to get him believing when he steps out there. 84, I was pretty happy with Lux, and then Basil just got to open up because he's got all the tools in the world. So I'm spinning it pretty hard right now, but I think we're pretty dang capable team. You know, we don't get too high or too low based on any single result. You know, that's why last week when everybody wants a call and they want to, you know, well, you're 6th in the country and this and that, and I said, you know what, it doesn't really matter right now, because it doesn't matter. We just got to continue to build our team. But there's still a lot of things to build on. And, you know, the great thing is we had 10 guys wrestling out in Las Vegas, and we had 16, 17 more guys competing over in Loris. So our guys are understanding that we're not going to stand pat. You know, we're not with those 10 guys. We don't know who are going to be the 10 guys. We got 20 guys in a room trying to push those guys and make them better. And, you know, I know we had a lot of success over there and had some matches that we had lost to guys before that we turned around. You know, you always like to see that. And we'll have everybody that's healthy and ready to compete at the UNI Open this week. There'll be a few guys that I know won't wrestle, just because we got to get them ready for down the line. You know, we're not gonna lose because guys don't wrestle in the UNI Open. You know, so you're gonna see some names that you would probably love to see compete, and I'd love to see them compete too. But the best thing for them right now is to not compete. So, but we'll have a lot of guys there, and I know there'll be some good competition. I know Missouri's bringing their team. South Dakota State's bringing their team. There's a few other Division I teams, and there'll be a lot of guys here. So it'll be a good event. Starts at 9 in the Dome. I know there'll be a lot of people probably going to the basketball game. Just stop on over and watch a few matches and support the Panthers. So, like I said, we're just getting ready to kind of put the finishing touches on the first half of the season. Got to finish strong at the UNI Open, and then a little break, and then get ready for Midland. So, you know, I'm already thinking ahead. But any questions?